How's it going, everybody? Thanks once again for stopping by my channel and watching my video. I want to remind you, if you haven't already subscribed, to go ahead and do so now. Tap that subscribe button and hit that bell notification thing so you know when I upload videos, and give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. On today's video, I want to talk about some bikes that I personally think look cool, but when you ride them, you kind of look like a big dummy. But don't worry, this bike right here is on that list. Let's roll the intro and get riding. All right, first bike on the list, actually bike style on the list I want to talk about. We've all seen the shows like American Chopper and West Coast Choppers and all those biker build-off shows that show different builders coming together and building these very nice, very expensive, extremely stretched out choppers. I personally think that they're really beautiful bikes, don't get me wrong, but the first time I ever saw one of those things in person was quite a number of years ago at a car show. And I just absolutely could not believe how gigantic those things are in real life. So I think those bikes are rather beautiful, but I would probably never ride one just because of how large they are. I mean, they probably take, 3 city blocks just to make a U-turn. Not only that, but they were extremely expensive back in the day, and oddly enough, you can almost not even give those bikes away anymore. They're almost worth next to nothing because people just don't, they're just so impractical. And I think that they're their time in the spotlight has come and gone, so people just don't want them anymore. But even as beautiful as those bikes look, when you see somebody riding one of them, you just look so silly on it, Now the next bike style that falls along the same lines of custom choppers is those big, I don't even know what the name for those things is, because a chopper is a chopper, a bobber's a bobber, a scrambler's a scrambler, and on and on and on. I imagine these things are just called baggers, but they're these big, I don't even know, I'm at a loss for words as to how to describe these things, but they're big, giant, stretched out baggers. And they got these wheels on the front that are, 4 feet tall, and you can't even see the back tires on them. And they have the big luggage compartments on the back that are, filled with speakers and everything else. And I honestly think that some of those bikes, that the work that they put into those bikes, they are just absolutely beautiful. However, I don't understand, once again, how anybody rides those things. Because when you're sitting on those, you do kind of look like a big dummy. And you can't wear motorcycle gear when you're riding one of those things. It's just, you just can't do it. It's against the laws of nature. And I happen to be one of those people that thinks, well, if you're not wearing your gear, and you're riding a motorcycle, you automatically kind of look like a dummy. Now the next one, they're motorcycles, although a lot of people in the motorcycling community doesn't give them the respect that they deserve. I'm talking about scooters. I have seen some absolutely beautiful scooters in the last few years that I've been into motorcycles, 24/7, that I have absolutely considered purchasing. Number one is a Honda Forza 300. Now, luckily for me, that bike isn't even available in the United States, because I'd probably have one in my garage right now. Another little bike that I thought was pretty cool looking when it comes to scooters is the Honda Ruckus. Now, I mean, you want to talk about a bike that's perfect for a college student or somebody that just wants to run around in a small town picking up a few groceries here and there. That little bike, it fits the bill. So as far as from a practicality standpoint is concerned, scooters have a lot to offer. Their only drawback is most of them, the smaller CC ones, are just extremely silly looking. So you got the little Vespas, you got the Honda Ruckus, you got the Yamaha Zuma. I mean, those little smaller CC scooters, they're really kind of cool looking, but they're also at the same time extremely dorky looking. But once you get up into the bigger scooters, like what's known as maxi scooters, those things are, I don't know, they look like a potato with a seat cut out of it. Some of those are just not good looking at all. But the ones I'm talking about that are extremely good looking, as far as the small CC scooter is concerned, the Honda PCX 150, I think that's a gorgeous little bike, but once again, you know, and I'm sure this is probably the reason why these little bikes don't get a lot of respect from a lot of people in the motorcycling community, because you just look like a dumbass riding one. You know, like you're sitting on a chair at your table in your dining room or something like that, but you're also riding a bike at the same time. You just look kind of silly riding them. So, next style of bike, cruisers with ape hangers. Now don't get me wrong, I've seen quite a few classic looking cruisers that are set up with lots of chrome on them and ape hangers on them, as long as they're not too tall. That actually look pretty cool. The ones that I'm talking about though are those bikes with ape hangers that are like 4 feet tall. I honestly don't understand how some guys ride those things. How do your arms not go completely asleep when you're riding around on a bike where your arms are way the hell up here? I mean, I imagine it must be pretty cool for cooling off your armpits and shit like that, but you know, I'm all for staying cool when you're riding a motorcycle, but come on guys, you gotta admit, when you're riding around and your arms are stretched up like that, not only does it look silly, but how do you even control that bike, you know, all that well in an emergency situation? Of course, you're probably not even thinking about that when you're building your bike and throwing those 18-foot tall ape hangers on and everything, and I can understand that. But I have seen a few bikes with ape hangers on them that they did look, you know, it looked right on the bike. You know, like a shorter set of handlebars just wouldn't have done the bike justice. So there are certain types of bike that just they call for certain types of parts on them. And to put anything else on them just wouldn't make any sense. Alright, now finally, let's get to the good part. The one bike that I think makes you look extremely silly when you ride is a mini bike. And yes, I'm riding one right now. Especially if it's a stretched mini bike, just like the one I'm on right now. Now, the reason why you look extremely silly when you ride a mini bike, if you're a full-grown adult like me, I'm 6 foot tall, 200 pounds, I look like a complete idiot on this thing. And I really don't care. I honestly don't. The whole reason why I'm into these little mini bikes is because I think they're just so darn cool looking, you know? You get a little tiny motorcycle like this and you fix it all up and just make it your own, personalize it and everything, and there's just, to me, there's nothing better. You can pack a whole garage full with these things and you can go out there and just have your pick. Hell, you can buy enough to have a different one for every day of the week if you wanted to. So I just absolutely adore these little bikes. Which brings me to my closing point of this whole entire video. Your bike is your bike. It's kind of an extension of your personality. Especially if you put a lot of work into building it and putting a lot of character in it and just making it your own. So when you get out there and you pick a motorcycle and you put everything into it, you shouldn't give a crap about what other people think about it. Don't give a crap what I think about it. You know, if you're into scooters, you're a scooter guy, that's cool. I'm cool with you. And I think your scooters are actually pretty cool. But just because the Harley Davidson guys don't wave at you doesn't mean that their opinion is worth a shit. Because it's not. It's your bike. You ride what you ride. And you enjoy what you enjoy. Because to me anyways, when I hear people talk shit about these little mini bikes and ask why I ride these things, and hell, they might even go out of their way to tell me how silly I look wearing full gear while riding one of these little bikes, it doesn't bother me. Because I didn't buy any of these bikes for them. I didn't buy any of these bikes based on what I thought somebody else's opinion would be of me. I ride what puts a smile on my face, not anybody else's. And each and every one of you guys out there should be the same way. Don't give a crap what somebody else thinks about what you ride. So just think about that next time when you're hesitant about buying a certain type of motorcycle, because there might be some sort of stigma attached to it. Don't worry about it. Pick it up and buy it. If you like it, ride it. So I myself cannot say that I will never ever own any of the bikes that I talked about in this video. Because change is important in your life. You should be changing things up every now and then. You can't just stay with the same thing. Hell, you know, 2 years from now I might not even like these mini bikes. I might just get rid of all of them and buy myself something else to replace them. I can't say for certain. The way my interests go, they're up and down and all over the place. And I think that, you know, being that way is important. Especially as you get older in life, it's important to pick up new skills and pick up new hobbies and find new things that interest you and things that kind of keep your brain active. So I may end up owning a stretch chopper one of these days, or even a scooter, or, well, probably never own one of those baggers that sit extremely low, because I don't even know how the hell you turn one of those things, to be honest, but and I like to wear my gear. You can't wear your gear on one of those bikes. So anyways, thank you everybody for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to give it a big fat thumbs up. From Glebe, Washington, on this somewhat chipper day in November. It's like the 10th or 11th or something like that. Everybody ride safe and have a good day, and we will see you on the next video. Adios.